quality checking, it is making, none of the product would be, no, these are all the quality and quantity and contribution composition of the product. And when we, then that product will be compared with that commercially, whatever the existing product for the same or equivalent. Then how far it is better in what aspect and what component, we have to highlight it to the product, about the product to the society. Then only it will be marked. Commercialized, we can say. Like global warming potential, we composition of gases or components of gases which are highly influenced on global warming or influenced on global warming. As far as whatever we have discussed, the carbon dioxide is the major source. That's what we have discussed till now. Other than that, carbon dioxide, what else is there? Many compounds are there. Those components are also responsible for the overall climate change, or we can say degradation of ecosystem. So when we are talking about the global warming, till now, carbon dioxide is only the contributor which increase the temperature globally. That's what global warming coming. Then what are the impact of how the polar ice and Arctic region, how much it is decline in ice concentration level, that and all we have discussed. Because of that, how this saline recirculation has happened, then because of how this thermohaline circulation has happened, then how it affect the ecosystem in the sea also we have seen. Now, that effect, how much we should be, there must be a method to be quantified. When we wanted to quantify that, we supposed to measure the effect of few components on the environment. That is the concept they have developed for the global warming potential. Global warming potential, if you define blindly, means which is nothing but how this radioactive forcing cumulatively, both by the direct sources and indirect sources, both direct effect and indirect effect. And this is the result of emission from the unit mass of a gas which is related to the some reference gas. According to the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, they are using a reference gas as carbon dioxide. With reference to carbon dioxide, they are measuring the impact or concentration of other gases on climate change. They have found out that is called global warming. Global warming means which is nothing but, which is quantify the measure of relative radioactivity. That means how much temperature is increasing in a positive manner, and the impact of this particular greenhouse effects on the same positive radioactive phasing, we can see. The direct effect which occurs when the gas itself, it is a greenhouse gas, because we have seen what is the primary air pollutant and secondary air pollutant. Primary air pollutant means whatever the gaseous pollutant which emitted from the source directly, they are called primary air pollutant. Whatever the gases, primary gases or primary air pollutant which react with each other, or it is react with environmental component, permanent compound, or some other chemical compound which are all there in the atmosphere which reacts and makes the secondary air pollutant. Some of the pollutant, primary pollutant are greenhouse gases, and some of the greenhouse gases are from the secondary pollutant. So if the gases are directly are primary pollutant itself, it is a greenhouse gas means, then no news at all. It is very easy. We can say it is direct radioactive forcing. And suppose indirect radioactive forcing, whenever we are considering, whenever that secondary pollutant, they have explained in different way in your book, but the concept is the greenhouse gas is formed from the secondary air pollutant. That is the chemical reaction or transformation involving between the original gas produced from the gas sources and which react with the atmospheric gas or any other gas or same primary gas, pollutant when react, which gives, that will give the indirect radioactive forcing. So global warming potential people are telling that it is a kind of index to attempt to integrate the overall climate impact of specific action, that is emission of particular gases like methane, oxides of nitrogen, or aerosols, and which is related to the impact of emission of a gas, any particular gas, which is related to the emission of an equivalent mass of carbon dioxide. This is very important. Equivalent of it, all the pollutant range is being quantified and the basis of carbon dioxide equivalent only. Then the rest of the things, how it will be varied, how far it is reliable, whether it is the correct method or not, everything we can see. But this method is developed by the IPCC only. Global warming potential, when we are talking, the duration of perturbation is included by the integrating relative forcing over the time horizon. Because one day, 2 days, we cannot talk about the climate change. It may be involved with that IPCC have between 220, 100, 500 years or 300 years, 100 years, like that. And the duration must be little longer. The time horizon thus includes the cumulative climate change and the decay of the perturbation or ecosystem. It is the global warming potential which gives an idea, and which is also gives the idea, and it is convenient to measure the policymaker to compare the climate change impact at two different emissions. Because global warming potential, when we are talking about, which is related or it equivalent in terms of methane only. From the name itself, definition itself, we can say it is questionable. Because if you take the aircraft emission, for example, impacts such as quantum, those things cannot be related with the particular greenhouse gases. And indirect RF from the ozone produced by the NOx emission, oxides of nitrogen emission, and it is not linearly proportional to the amount or concentration of NOx. This will be depending on many factors like location, season, time, and the amount of solar radiation available. Many factors influence on formation of methane from NOx. That kind of information, there is that kind of correlation not in this global warming potential which has been developed by IPCC. And furthermore, and the relative impact of short-lived gases like aerosol, ammonia, and the carbon monoxide, hydrocarbon, those gases, when it released into the atmosphere, those gases impact is not being accounted from this. Furthermore, global warming potential does not account the evolving atmosphere wherein RF frequency from 1 ppm increase in CO2, because nowadays the concentration of CO2 is keep on increasing. And they are telling that 2050 and the efficiency NOx at producing troposphere ozone depends on the concurrent pollution of the troposphere, that how much it could be interpolately it will be reached to that level. That prediction could not be made, make use of global warming potential concept. So what is the use of this global warming potential? It could be used to compare the emission of long-lived well-mixed gases. Long-lived well-mixed gases are what in atmosphere? Carbon dioxide, methane, N2O, nitrous oxide, and hydrofluorocarbon. For the current atmosphere, they are adequate to describe the climate impact of aviation. So, long-lived gases and very stable gases and well-mixed gases in atmosphere like carbon dioxide, methane, N2O, and hydrochlorocarbon, those gases, how it impact on climate change. Those things only can be accounted, make use of this global warming potential. But anyhow, to some extent, the estimation of greenhouse gases are often represented in terms of million metric tons of carbon equivalent only, which is equal to the global warming potential. Carbon comprises 12 by 44th carbon CO2 by weight. Like that only people are calculating. And it could be converted in tegagram. They have given some formula in your book. Million metric ton of carbon equivalent equal to any long-lived well-mixed gases like carbon dioxide, methane, N2, and hydrofluorocarbon can be estimated in terms of tegagram of any particular gas, whatever permanent gas, into global warming potential into 12 by 40. 12 means it is atomic weight of carbon. 44 is the same thing, molecular weight of carbon dioxide. From that, we can find out what is the million metric ton of carbon equivalent in terms of particular gas. And what the gases are only permanent gases. Now, what they are saying that the long-living atmospheric gases like CO2, methane, N2O, chlorofluorocarbon, perfluorocarbon, and fluorotetrasulfide these are all distributed throughout the atmosphere uniformly, and consequently the global average concentration of these gases can be easily determined by make use of global warming potential. It is not related to one particular region. Listen me very carefully. Globally, the mentioned gas concentration could be estimated by following the concept which I have mentioned. But the flaw of this particular technology or technique is the short-lived gases such as water vapor, precursors like NOx, CO, and some of the hydrocarbon or volatile carbon. That is in, and also atmospheric aerosol like SO2 product, SO2, SO3 product. Those products are very regionally, and also the consequently it is very difficult to quantify globally because they are not well mixed gases, they are not stable gases. So the global warming potential is attributed to these gases are short-lived and spatially inhomogeneous in the atmosphere. Those gases cannot be determined their concentration in the atmosphere. So anyhow, they have developed some technology, and the technology is for our technique, we can say. Their technique is developed for to find out the global warming potential. Mean that the method supposed to cover for both long-lived and short-lived gases. Our short-lived gases some method and long-lived gases something, and both must be combined together, which may give the idea of how much it is globally warm. Otherwise, we can say in another term, what is positive radioactive forcing. But in this particular case, they have developed some method. That method will be useful to find out only long-lived gases, which are all long-lived, well-mixed, and stable gases. Those gases only they have used to find out the global warming potential. And I myself explain about it. This method has some basic flaw. What are the flaw also I told you. But again, what concept must be there to develop this method? Any one of you could answer? Behind this concept, behind this method, what concept must be there to be developed this method? Can you answer to me? I said this is the method used to find out the global warming potential. And they are following, this method is adopted based on the carbon equivalence. And the carbon equivalence, how much is available in carbon dioxide, based on that, you can look at the formula. Million metric ton of carbon equivalent into decagram of particular gas into global warming potential into 12/44 they have given. So global warming potential equal to million metric ton of carbon equivalent upon decagram of gas into 12 into 12/44. So make use of this formula. You can calculate what is the global warming potential. So this formula, method and everything I have told. But I myself said the same method has some basic flaw. You cannot estimate the concentration of short-lived gases. Then what is the use of this method? On what concept the method has been developed, and how it could be approved by worldwide, and how it can be the method of IPCC? What is the reason behind, and what could be the reason behind that? Any one of you can answer? Hello? Are you there? Any one of you there? If you are there, you respond. If you are not there, then I ask why I have to talk only with the computer. Hello? Yes? What happened? Okay. So yeah, others can respond. People can answer to me through chat also. This is very important question, and also it is a highly knowledgeable question. Really, people understand what I have told about the global warming potential, then you could able to answer to this question. If you want me to explain again, I will explain. But the thing is, you should understand this. This is not the direct question. Global warming potential. Global warming means what you know. Potential means how much it is warmed. I told you how the temperature is increasing per decade because of global warming. It is 0.6 degree per decade. If the temperature is increasing like that, I told you 42% of Arctic ice is being declined. Because of that, 10 to 20 centimeter of ice thickness is being reduced in our. In such a situation, the sea level would be increased, and when the sea level is increased, lower lying area will be immersed. That is one problem. Another one is because of this global warming, climate change is coming. If the climate is changing, means we cannot get the seasonal rain. If we are not getting the seasonal precipitation, then the agriculture production will be reduced. Then consequence problem you might be knowing. I no need to explain. If production is not there, availability less, that if they cannot meet the demand, if the demand cannot be meet means, then the rate of the product will be going up. This is the consequent problem. Now my question is, when you want to find out this effect is how much, that is called global warming potential. The effect is how much means we have to measure something. That we have to quantify something. That effect is quantified based on some of the reference gas called carbon dioxide and the effect of long-lived gases, long-lived mixed and stable gases, how much it is affected in global warming, that is being measured in terms of concentration of such compounds. Okay. So from that we can identify this particular gas is beyond the permissible limit. So these gases are within the limit. Because of these gases, no problem. The remaining gases gives an effect we can find out. But this method is useful for only permanent gases, not, or we can say long-lived gases. For the short-lived gases like hydrocarbons are highly volatile, we know. Carbon monoxide, that also unsaturated carbon, immediately it will be converted into CO2. And NOx, other components are NOx. So these are, and some of the aerosols, ozone precursors, water vapor, these are all short-lived gases. These gases are also responsible to the global temperature to some extent. But permanent gas, the answer I told you now, whether you people grasp it or not. Now, this method is useful to find out something, but the same time I said this method will be useful for only few components, for other components cannot be. IPCC is not a small organization. It is globally they are working to find out the root cause for climate change, and also they wanted to prevent the climate change from the environmental pollution. That is the purpose of that particular policymaker organization, Interpanel Governmental Climate Change. And those people only have developed this technology. If it has some flaw, then what is the use of that method for finding out the same effect? So it could be the reason of only one or two technical issues. Any one of you can tell it has a flaw, but it is used, it is useful, and even then it has a problem. When both the sides are there, so why we need to have that method, or why the people are allowed, or they gave the permission to develop this method, and how the global or globally how the method is being permitted to use. What could be the reason? If anyone can answer, please tell me. All people are there or not? No one is speaking. Bhagya Raju, Lokapavani, Janaki. All of you are there? Ask to unmute. Do you want me to unmute? If I will unmute means what you people do? You will open something and you will disturb me. Yes. Okay, you people are not interested on the subject. I could design like that only. Okay. The reason behind that, the short-lived gases will be disappear shortly. Long-lived gases are retaining in the atmosphere or deposited in the atmosphere for quite a long time. And the short-lived gases may not be mixed with everything. The presence of those particles are alive for very less time in the atmosphere. Even if it reacts also, that won't be stable. We are talking about the climate change. When we are talking about the climate change is a permanent problem or it is a temporary problem? Is it temporary or permanent? Climate change is temporary problem or it is a permanent problem? Okay. So now when we are talking about the permanent issue, it is not over the period of 1 month or 2 months, 1 year. It is lifelong. It could not be retrieved back, I said. When that is the situation, why we need to concentrate on the short-term or temporary issue on the environment? That is an issue on the environment which also will affect the ecosystem, that no doubt at all. But only the thing is, the short-lived things will come and go, like a storm is coming and going, and rain is coming and going, summer is coming and going. It does not mean that because of that, no positive or negative effect. Both are all the impacts, all the meteorological changes are effects which creates long-term and short-term effect on the ecosystem. But since the climate change is a permanent and the long-term change, I can say permanent changes. So the impact which will be effect on the ecosystem, which will be staying for a long time, those components only they have concentrated. And those components are plenty when they have developed the method in I can say in 19th century, or we can say in 20th century, sorry, in 20th century. When we entered into the 21st century, then there is a huge emission of all these short-lived emission gases. What are the short-lived emission gases? Hydrocarbon emission everywhere is there. Always it is there. But carbon monoxide was less comparatively, and N2 also. Because of this modern technique and civilization, the quantity of burning or fossil fuel combustion is keep on increasing. So they need to transfer the transportation also, it is increased. And the drilling also increased. When the drilling is increased, refinery, everything proportionally, all sort of process involved with that also proportionally increased. So since the hydrocarbons are volatile in nature, it is volatilized, evaporated into the atmosphere. Then the concentration of these short-lived gases also start up or build up in the atmosphere. Due to that reason only, nowadays it is being highlighted that the global warming potential method, which is being developed by IPCC, which has basic flaw, it cannot be used. Even then they know that, but they wanted to know only the permanent impact on the environment, which implies on climate change. Only one term you can write. The climate change is a will not be persisting for a long time. So what the consideration made to be considered only the short long-term gases consideration. So global warming potential, it is a concept or index. Again telling it is an attempt to integrate the overall climate impact of specific action, that is by the emission of methane, emission of NOx, or emission of aerosols in a particular horizon. It is not included in all the gases, only because we are all talking about the global warming means, which is nothing but the absorbed solar radiation from the sun, that is by the atmospheric gases. Some of the gases are reflected by clouds, and some of the gases are absorbed by some of the gases. Sorry, some of the radiation is reflected back to the sun. some of the radiation absorbed by the atmospheric gases, and only 45% of radiation is falling into the Earth's surface, where they are all infrared radiation, light radiation, and those radiation is reflected back from the Earth's surface, which heats up the Earth atmosphere to some extent. This is good for the entire ecosystem. That's what we call that is greenhouse effect. But when we are when we are releasing some of the gases into the atmosphere, like in the form of oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, and carbon dioxide, other flue gases into the atmosphere, the concentration of these gases started increasing, and proportionally or parallelly, the temperature of these flue gases are very high when it is released into the atmosphere. Altogether, which increase the global temperature. Because of global temperature increases, the people are telling that which hits some of the secondary pollutant from the atmosphere, like chlorofluorocarbon, perfluoromethane. Those components are damaging the ozone. When it is damaged, there are some ozone holes, they said. Through that harmful solar radiation, UV ultraviolet radiation is falling on the Earth's surface. And this is one aspect. Because of that, only many cancer-related diseases, for plant, animal, everything suffered by that particular effect. This is one direction. Another direction, I said how the ice melting and how it affects that land and water, how it is related. How many acres or how many million, trillion, billion acres of land is being immersed in water, we do not know. Another obvious thing is which create the thermohaline situation in seawater. Thermohaline, from the name itself, we can say temperature and alkalinity changes in water. Because of that, the entire aquatic system, not only fishes, in sea, seaweeds will be there, and algae, fungi, everything must be there. Everything is affected by this thermohaline situation. We may not know many things. The seaweeds are very good or potential resource for the medicine. And people are telling that from our ancient people are writing on that, not on the pen and paper like that. The earlier days, how the people have written aid in that. For whatever the diseases we have without medicine, and the treatment is there, but it won't be cured. Like the diseases, many are there in the world, like TB, cancer, asthma, HIV infection. For all these medicines are there based on the seaweeds people are telling. For everything we have medicine in India. But we could not find out. And day by day, this pollution level is keep on increasing, and everything people are dumping into the sea. Some of the sensitive organisms are not unable to survive in seawater also, and they started degraded in their population. That's what they are telling, that species exclusion. Every species are started disappearing. These are all the things are consequently happening. So we cannot say specifically this is only the causes or that only the causes for global warming, but the people are concentrating much on permanent gases because they wanted to know how permanently the climate change is happening. Because of that, what are the other consequences on the ecosystem? That's what they have decided to develop the method for with only permanent gases or long-lived gases. I should not say permanent gases, that is long-lived gases, and it is stable gas in atmosphere, and it is well mixed with all their components. So it does not mean that water vapor is not mixing or carbon, everything, but it is some extent, and it is well available for a few hours or few days. So it is very difficult to measure the concentration of those gases. That is only the reason behind that. Okay, this global warming potential, it is very, very important topic, not an exam point of view, because I don't think that people have asked this question for exam, but it is very, very important on subject knowledge point of view. You should know this. Okay, and the next one is, next topic is on significant global temperature increase. How we can find out this? For systematic record keeping in the 1860s, the world average temperature has been found to fluctuate in response to the natural process. What are the natural process? Whatever I have told you. Many times I said I don't want to tell the same thing, but I will tell you in a different way. The variations of temperature, global temperature, is the output of solar radiation associated with the sunspots and the solar flares. About this and all, we are not talking much. This impact will be there, but not every day. And variation is ozonic and atmospheric currents, and variation in incoming solar radiation is blocked by atmospheric dust and gases associated mainly with large volcanic eruption. Because I have told you many things, a natural process like a forest fire, volcanic eruption, and biological decomposition, and these are all the natural process I said. But significant global temperature increase, this is being developed by the IPCC. They are telling some other reason also. Globally, how we are getting the heat from the to the Earth's surface, that is only because of solar radiation only. When the solar radiation is directly fall on the earth, we cannot bear. So in between sun and earth, there are many layers of things. Those are all taking care of that. The unwanted things they are filtering out. Only wanted things they filter it off and it is sending to us, and we are enjoying the life. But because we are the culprit, that because of our unwanted activities, I could say, we are increasing or we are releasing some unwanted component into the atmosphere, then all set process or problem happen globally. So that they have interpreted that global temperature increases because of some other reason also. What are the reason? The output of solar radiation associated with the sunspot and the sun flares, that also reason for increase the temperature. Variation in ozonic and atmospheric currents. Variation in ozonic and atmospheric current, what are the interaction between or exchange of cycles between these two systems. And variation in incoming solar radiation. How incoming solar radiation can be reduced? Because the radiation could be stopped by some of the gases like dust and gases associated with, mainly in large volcanic, wherever it happened, there it is happening like this. These are all the reason for there is the change in temperature in atmosphere. Okay. And world average temperature has risen by 1 degree between 1816 to 1998, over 138 years, because of this set effect, not by other effect. And emission inventory is an accounting of the amount of air polluted discharged into the atmosphere. It is generally characterized by the many factors. One is the chemical or physical identity of the pollutant. That means physical identity means the components are, chemical identity means composition, and the geographical area covered, institutional entities covered, time period over which emissions are estimated, the type of activity that caused the emissions. These are all the accounting for inventory emissions. And when we are talking about the greenhouse emissions, greenhouse effect globally, we are supposed to know how is it in India. So that is what we are covering the topic on India's greenhouse gas emission. This is not the recent data. This is old data. The same thing you people can interpret from the present data also. India has a dramatic growth in fossil fuel carbon dioxide emission. That is obvious. It increases nearly 5.9% since 1950. It might be little more than that what is there. But we know that the fossil fuel usage day by day is keep on increasing. How it could be interpreted? Now, you people please answer to me. The fossil fuel usage is keep on increasing. Obviously, we can answer. How we can answer it? Yes, it is increasing. No, it is not increased. Or it may be increasing or may not increase. Like that answer. What is the four option? What is the answer? And how you put answer to this question? Let me know. Any one of you can answer to me? Everyone know the answer. It is not a new question. I myself would have told hundreds of times in the classroom. You can open up your mouth. If people are keeping quiet, means it's not looking good. Students are there when participation is very, very important. Is it true that the fossil fuel usage is keep on increasing? No? Okay. How it is increasing? Why it is increasing? Only one term is the answer. Only one term. Okay, I will give an answer. The major or the prime reason is the prime reason. There are many reasons. I will give an option. You people please select. The main reason is whatever I'm going to say, all are reason I know. Among all, the prime reason is what you have to say. One is industrialization. Another one is power generation. Third one is transportation. And fourth one is population. So among the four, which one is the correct prime answer? All the four are correct, I know. Which one is the correct answer? Only one option. Yeah, you can predict it. You can say easily. Yes. Among the four, which one is answer? You can put it in chat also, or you can tell over the phone also. No issue. Yes. Again, I will repeat the answer. The fossil fuel usage, I can say indirectly, the emission of carbon dioxide is keep on increasing, or it is in a growing manner. What is the reason behind that? It is increase, that you people agree. Okay, good. So what could be the reason? Is it industrialization, or transportation, or power generation, or population? All the four are correct, I know. Among the four, which one is the prime reason for this release of increasing emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere? Population. Very good. Yeah, excellent, ma'am. I'm appreciating you. Excellent. Yes, due to this only, the demand is going up, isn't it? This is very important question. This question has been asked in the IAS exam. In theory, written exam also they have asked, and the person known to me for them, they have asked in interview also. That's what I asked this question. Okay, this actually they have asked in some other manner. I have modified in terms of environment. Yeah, due to population only, population growth is only the prime factor for release of more emittent into the atmosphere. That is correct. Due to the population only, industrialization, due to the population, because due to the population growth only, we need to have more power. So the power generation is increased. Due to the population only, the production supposed to be increased so that the industrialization developed. Earlier days, here for 1,000 people, we need clothes. For 10,000 of people, how much clothes we want, we can interpolate it. So then proportionally, it emits the pollutant into the atmosphere. Like that, industrial transportation also. When I came to Hyderabad, whether you trust on me or not, I don't know. I came to Hyderabad in 2007 or 8. That time the Hyderabad road was not this much traffic. And if you enter from the Panjamutta to that Jubilee Hills, the road was plain. There was no, I used to say that this only the road without signal, I used to say. Only one signal was there in the middle, no other signal. I have seen. And if you want to come from Jubilee Hills checkpost to Panjamutta, means within 4 minutes or 5 minutes by two-wheeler you can reach. Now, how many minutes it takes? How much is traffic? How many signals are there? You know that. Why all this made also? We understand that. So when the population increases, the transportation facility must be increased. Then the facilities increases means where it will end up with. One is the economy, another one is the environment. These two factors only. Because of population, not only the environment is affected, it also affects the economy of the country. There is a possibility. One side it may growth in one direction, and another way it will maybe degrade the quality of life in another direction. Both are possible. For example, if we consider that IT industry is developing well, because of IT industry development, particular grade of people are doing well. And the remaining class of people, they are suffering to some extent to meet their demand and to compete their life with those kind of lifestyle. So that is somewhere it is going up and somewhere it is going down, like what is happening in equator and Arctic region, like that only. Okay. So there is a dramatic growth in fossil fuel carbon dioxide emission that we have to agree. But whatever the value I have been given in your slide, that is 5.9% since 1950, it could be much more than this. This is old data. The current data people can check out. At present, India is rated as the 6th largest contributor of CO2 emission, and China the second one. Because why the China is second one? Anyone knows that? At present, it is 5th place now. Carbon dioxide emission may 5th place India, not 6th place. This is old data, but right now, last week I have gone through it. India is rated at 5th place in carbon dioxide emission, and China is still in second place only. Why that much carbon dioxide emission in China? Anyone could answer? Anyone? Why China is releasing more carbon dioxide? What could be the reason? China comes under developed country or developing country? Yes, everything because of population only. Okay. If it is developing countries means, okay, fine. It is developing country only, correct. The answer is correct. Then then you can answer to me, na? What would be the reason for more emission of CO2? Okay, leave it. What China till date, they rely on which fuel for their regular activities? For heating, cooking, power generation, for all their purpose, what sort of fuel they are using till date? They may use different form, but what is the major form of fuel they are using for all their regular needs? In industries also and domestic fires also. Yes. Many more people have joined, some few more, no one is responding. They simply join and left. It is very good idea. Yes, please. Because they are depending more on coal only till date, even for their power generation, for industrial burning, and domestic firing also, they are using more coal. And one more thing, when compared to Indian coal, China coal contain lot of, these are all very informative information, knowledgeable question. China coal contain lot of sulfur dioxide. So not sulfur. The China coal contain lot of sulfur. That is sulfur, not only carbon dioxide, the sulfur dioxide emission and carbon dioxide emission both are huge from China. The reason behind that, they rely more on coal-based fuels for their all industrial process, domestic firing, heating purpose, for everything they are using that only. Even during the winter season, they are facing the smog problem too much. Smog means next class, the afternoon class, I'm going to talk about that only. And that is very, very, very hectic issue from the environmental pollution. The reason for that problem, human being only, human activities only, nothing else. Climate change is happening, seasonal change is happening, means the dispersion will be reduced. If the dispersion is reduced, means the pollutant will be stagnant in one particular place. If it is stagnant at one particular place, means it keep on produces some compound from one compound to another compound, and from that everything is poison. None of them is not good chemicals in atmosphere except the permanent clean dry gases. So in such a way, when the people are considering the CO2 emission throughout the world, the China is the second place. The reason behind that is they rely only coal on all the purposes. India is placed or ranked in the fifth place, not in the sixth place. That only the wrong thing. You can. This is what available in your book, but the information which I have given is latest information. Our per capita, the Indian per capita CO2 emission is around 0.93 ton per year. 0.93 ton per year per capita. For a single person, it releases 0.93 tons. It is not less, but when compared to the average world level is 3.87 tons per year. That per capita means from single person emission is 3.87 tons per year. You know, different activities, whatever we had from that. But India level is 0.93. So we can assume that how much energy we have, how we are energetic also we can understand from this, from another aspect. It is a positive or negative, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, it is the quantity of carbon dioxide release this much means, then intake also proportionally how much you can find out. Based on the intake only the output, isn't it? The input is less, output is also less. Input is more and output also more. But this calculation involves based on this calculation specifically based on we may use the hot water, we may use the power, we may use the transport and facility. All together they make an average. Not only intake capacity, for luxury level, if whatever we have, everything is being accounted from based on that only the per capita CO2 emission is being accounted. Okay. The next one is stratospheric ozone depletion. Ozone depletion, they said, not a ozone availability. I have told you or not, I don't know, but I tell now, please listen me very carefully. I would have told whenever I was talking about the introduction of air pollutant, I must told about that. And ozone is a poisonous gas, or it is a problematic gas, or it's good or bad. You tell me ozone is good or bad? Ozone is a friendly chemical. Okay, why it is good? Why it is good? It protects from UV rays. Very good. That is correct. Then why we are telling about ozone is a pollutant? When we are talking about the air pollutant, that ozone is being considered as one of the pollutant. Why? Why we are telling that ozone is comes under the pollutant? Because when we are talking about pollutant, sulfur dioxide, oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, hydrocarbon, radon, the fluorine, hydrofluorine, lead, and that sequence we have studied ozone also, isn't it? So that we have categorized or is being listed under the pollutant. And why it is being categorized as a pollutant? We said that it is good and it is protect us from the UV radiation. These are 100% correct. I also agree. Then in the blindly people have written on the book only, and that is in a white, black and white. So what could be the reason? Because of other pollutant, holes created and harmful rays reaching to us. Because of that, and now I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because of ozone deplete, how it affects. I'm saying ozone itself, they are telling it is a pollutant. Whatever the explanation that is happening in the world, that is correct, which indicates that we created something, because of that something else is happening to us. And that we will say, according to the third law of motion, each and every reaction has its own equal and negative reaction, like that. We did something, so the nature did something to us. We created something and they have created something, like that. But no, I'm asking direct question. It is very good. It did all its job, that it protects our life from the harmful radiation. If we are not protected like this, no living things can be happily live on the earth surface. Not only animals or human being, including all living things. Animal also cannot be happily survive. Okay, happily survive means it cannot be blown. Now I'm asking it. It does all goodness for us, but if they have been categorized in are listed out in pollutant, why it is? Hmm. Little fast. You can answer. You can answer to me. The reason behind that is, whatever the natural ozone is available, that is not making or giving any problem to us. The problem is given by or through ozone is from the man-made ozone, not from the naturally occurring ozone gives any problem. The problem is from the just above the earth surface, that we can say that a troposphere is from 0 to 10-kilometer height. In that, half of the height or quarter of the height just above the earth surface, due to the release of some of the harmful chemical from our side, and which undergoes some of the photochemical reaction that forms ozone. The man-made ozone, or the ozone formed in the lower atmosphere by the action of photochemical reaction, those ozone is existing just above the earth's surface, they are harmful to all living things, including plants also. That's the reason we are being counted as a ozone, as a harmful gases. But somewhere, some people, ozone is a good refrigerant gas. Are you aware of it? I would have told in the class, for refrigerator, people are using this. If it is bad, means people cannot use, no. So it serves us in many ways in the good thing. Only thing is, when openly it is released into the atmosphere at the lower level, it became a problematic one. Or in an enclosed container like in a stratosphere layer, and the ozone gases people are using as a coolant or refrigerant in the refrigerator, those times it serves as a good friend. But when we are created and released into the atmosphere, then it makes or damages a living thing. That time we have been considered it as a enemy. Otherwise, it is a very good friend of us. Ozone is a very good friend of us. Again and again, repeatedly, I'm saying it is ironic, that is very strong, good. It serves us a good friend, and it protects many good things. Okay, we'll talk about that now. Ozone is life. Sorry, oxygen is life. Without oxygen, we cannot, there will not be living things to breathe, isn't it? If oxygen is not there, we cannot breathe. If oxygen is not there, no, there will not be any digestion things. Food digestion will not take place. Then carbon dioxide cannot form. Then the carbon cycle will be stopped. Then there will not be any photosynthesis. There will not be plant living things. Then the system will be destroyed. That's what people are telling, that oxygen is life. When O3, that addition of one oxygen atom with the oxygen, O2 means oxygen molecule. O means oxygen or atom. This oxygen atom is linked with the oxygen molecule. Then we'll have the molecule of O3. The O3 is death when inhaled. Oxygen is life, ozone is death. Oxygen, without oxygen, nothing could be done. But when the one oxygen molecule combine with one oxygen atom, which produces ozone, that is called death when we inhaled. So whatever the stratospheric ozone is there in the atmosphere, that we are not inhaling. It is a layer like a blanket. It covered us from the that covered in the atmosphere, and which behaves like a blanket for us to protect from the ultraviolet radiation. Now the thing is, this poisonous gas, when we are talking about this, near the earth surface, when we find out from the man-made sources, and it's a trouble some other pollutant, and it is a very important poisonous gases. That's what the people are telling, that when the oxygen combined with one atom of oxygen, which makes the death when we inhaled, when we consume or when we inhaled this ozone, which gives death. When oxygen alone is there, that is life. That's what people used to say. When for the refrigerator, when they are changing the cylinder or refilling the gas, anything else, one or other thing, when the people are doing, that time, especially don't allow the kids nearby, they used to say. Because if they inhale very little quantity of ozone also, which leads to the death. That's what they have written very clearly in your book. Oxygen is life. Ozone is death when inhaled. And it is the poisonous gas that is true, but which forms like a blanket to our planet. Guarding life on it forms a harmful effect of ultraviolet radiation from the, we can say from the sun or from the outer surface, both are same. The outer surface means the entire atmosphere where the living beings are not interacted. But near the Earth's surface, ozone is an increasingly troublesome pollutant, and it is a poisonous gas. But when it is 15 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface, the blue bunchen smelling gas is an important to life, as like a oxygen they are telling. Yeah, that is, I can say, I myself told you that the ozone, where oxygen is life, ozone is death. But when it is death, when we inhaled, when it is there in the near atmosphere. But when we consider the same death gas above 15 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface, which will behave like a oxygen. That means oxygen is life, means ozone is also life, alive. Why we have told, which is protect us from the UV radiation only. Ozone forms a fragile shield, are usually insubstantial but remarkably effective. You know, the thickness is common. It is very, very thin layer of ozone. That's what they have given this kind of adjectives information. It is scattered so thinly through the 35-kilometer stratosphere from the atmosphere. The thinnest filters efficiently screens out almost all the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. There are 3 different types of ultraviolet radiation based on their wavelength. And that is UVA, UVB, UVC. 3 types of radiations are there. They have classified based on the wavelength. Anyhow, these ultraviolet radiations are short wavelength only. And among the 3, ultraviolet A, UVA is relatively harmless. And the remaining B, UVB and UVC are harmful radiation. But this ozone layer stops UVB and UVC rays, which have the shortest wavelength, dangerous to the life, and UVA is relatively harmless. It's relative. And the chlorofluorocarbon were regarded as a miracle substance usable by both industry and consumer. The reason behind that, because everybody is saying that this chlorofluorocarbon is the main culprit to destroy the ozone molecule, they are telling. Because of chlorofluorocarbon only, when this chlorofluorocarbon available in the atmosphere in the presence of sunlight, which photolyzes the ozone molecule into oxygen and atomic oxygen. So this because of this reason, whenever this reaction is happening, there must be the presence of oxides of nitrogen and the chlorofluorocarbon. These two are effective precursor which damages or which photolyzes the ozone into oxygen molecule and atomic oxygen. But this chemical, the chlorofluorocarbon CFC, it is a miracle substance. Why they are telling that, especially in industry and for a consumer aspect, this gas is inert in nature. We know that inert gas will not at all be reactive with anything, isn't it? But some of the catalysts are also inert in nature, but they involved in a reaction to promote the reaction both in positive and negative direction. Like that, this particular gas also, the chlorofluorocarbon, it is inert and immensely it is stable compound, neither flammable nor poisonous, but and also it is very easy to store and cheap to produce. Whenever we have seen the product with all these quality, then we can use that particular product for our modern world to develop anything. Whenever, wherever the product, gaseous product is stable and it is very cheap and it is not poisonous, it is not flammable and inert in nature, all the positive quality when it has means that will become one of the major component in the modern world to make it many industrial products. But the problem of this, the stable structure which enables them to attack the ozone layer. How bad it is, isn't it? It is stable, it is not reactive, we are talking, but that is became the advantage to damage the ozone. Because they slowly drift up to the stratosphere where intense UV radiation, so their chemical bonds, releasing chlorine, which strip an atom from the oxygen molecule, turning it into the ordinary oxygen molecule, ozone molecule turned into the ordinary oxygen molecule and atomic oxygen. How bad it is? The stable chemical, which have all positive quality with respect to the commercial activities or worldwide requirement, that is stable, inert, not flammable, not poisonous, easy to store and easy to manufacture, very cheap, everything, all positive quality. But all these positive quality only became a cursor for damaging the ozone. As especially whenever, wherever the UVC radiation is there, this chemical bonds is broken and releases the chlorine, and which strips out to remove the oxygen molecule from the ozone. Because of that, the ozone is broken into oxygen molecule and oxygen atom. Wherever, whenever this reaction is taking place in the stratospheric ozone layer, then the ozone depletion, because the ozone molecule is broken with, there the depletion is formed. If the depletion is nothing but loss of molecule, wherever, whenever the loss of molecule is there, which creates a hole in the ozone layer. That's what is happening. That about that only we are talking about. Ozone depletion, ozone hole, and everything throughout the world, people are talking. This is the case, and this is the thing is happening there. Every molecule of CFC or one molecule of CFC destroy thousands of ozone molecules. You just imagine one molecule, every molecule, one molecule of CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, which affects 1,000 molecules of ozone. So how many ozone molecules we have already damaged, we do not know. But this is the reaction balance concept. And the scientific assessment panel report of 1991 on the ozone layer confirmed the following. They are telling that what are the things already happened about the ozone layer, they have confirmed. What they have confirmed? Ozone is continues to deplete in all altitudes except over the tropics, because there the already how it is tropics, you know that. The overall decline ozone level is about 3% per decade. Per decade means what? Per 10 years. There are overall 3% means it is very huge. So for 50% means 15%, 50 years may 15% means how much it could be. To keep on reduced means how much solar UV radiation will be falling through that. We cannot estimate that. Because they are telling one CFC molecule destroys thousands of ozone molecules. Many industries are using CFC. How many molecules of ozone per day is destroying? We do not know. And where this effect more is also we do not know. Because these gases are not stable at one place. It will keep on moving from one place to another place. And the overall decline, they are telling 3% per decade. After 100%, 30% means then how much ozone will be there? 30% decline in ozone means how much ultraviolet radiation falling on Earth's surface? We cannot account it. We can't imagine it. Because of that, how many living things will be spoiled, destroyed? We do not know the statistics. And the depletion of ozone in the layer, in the lower stratosphere, 12 to 23 kilometers above the Earth's surface per decade is 10%. My God, if it is happening like this, after 300, 400 years, there will not be any ozone layer. Then how the living things could be on the Earth's surface? Then in Earth must be a history like Mars only. No, on Earth, living things must be there. Then the people will study in science or in history. Like that it will be, I hope. So increased ultraviolet B radiation has been observed in some places, which is conjunction with the ozone depletion. Okay. If increased UV radiation is, C radiation is there and UVB radiation is there, so we can say that in particular region, there must be increased depletion of ozone. More than 1% ultraviolet B level for each percentage decrease in O3. 1% of more than 1% of ultraviolet B radiation is there in one placement, which indicates that there is a decrease of more than one for each percentage decrease in each percentage decrease of ozone. We can find out UVB. UVB on the other side, UVC and chlorofluorocarbon another side. Imagine how many problems we have. More than 1% UVB level for each percent decrease in ozone. Okay. The incidents such as volcanic eruption increases O3 loss by enhancing the effect of chlorofluorocarbon. This is another reason for increasing that thing. And ENB efforts to protect ozone. So the ozone decreasing, ozone depletion, ozone problem. And we know that photochemical reactions through secondary pollutant formation like oxides of nitrogen, methane, hydrocarbons, sunlight, when all are coming together, then the sunlight is bright, which initiates the photochemical reaction. Through that also secondary pollutant release, which makes the ozone, that and all we have studied. So the production which makes and go and accumulate, we cannot say. But here they are telling that the ozone is available in particular layer. That particular layer ozone is keep on reducing to some level. If it reduces, what are the problem will happen? That we know that ozone will, because I have told you many times repeatedly, melamine will come, this will come, that will come, cataract will come, and all like skin related cancer will come. Many things I told, even sometimes it affects genetically also. Genetical disorder will come for the forthcoming generation. Many things are there. And similarly, it affects the plants also in such a way. But if it goes like that, what could be the end result? What could be the end result? How this government is, or central government, or state government, or globally, internationally, how the people are going to take an action to protect this ozone layer? That we will see. United Nations Environmental Program, which takes some effort to protect the ozone layers. Okay, so what is that? Which took up the issue in 1976 and adopted a simple that effective approach. The approach, what is the approach? In first concentrated an assessment of the problem by convening a meeting of experts on the ozone in 1977 and provided, followed by this recommendation of the meeting, United Nations Environmental Program set up a coordinating committee of the ozone layer COCl in cooperation with the World Meteorological Organization. So what could be done? So the meteorological parameter, how it is related to the ozone depletion, they will do the assessment. From the assessment, what they can do, they cannot play with any meteorological parameter. Can we play with any meteorological parameter which is there naturally in the atmosphere? It is not possible, isn't it? Yes or no? It is not possible. Meteorological parameter we cannot change. Only thing is possible. What is that? The temperature increase or decrease into the atmosphere can be altered. That can be altered means what? If you release the carbon dioxide that way or flue gas, I can't say only carbon dioxide, but carbon dioxide is the precursor. But the release of flue gases, everything we could say. But major component carbon dioxide, there no doubt at all. The release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere is keep on increasing. When it increases, then the global temperature is increased. So if you want to control the temperature increases in atmosphere, we can cool down the flue gases to certain temperature or bring down the flue gas temperature to the room temperature by circulation, cooling water circulation or coolant circulation. This could be done. Then we released that gases into the atmosphere through chimney. Then comparatively, it will reduce the temperature. Today it is 9. I release the gas at 600 degrees centigrade. Tomorrow, by introducing of this coolant, the temperature can be reduced to 100 degree. Also, it is well and good, isn't it? There are 6 folds of temperature. So, like that, we can play or tune with that. But the resulting meteorological parameter we cannot alter by man-made. The things are happening because of entire environment is being affected by pollution. The ecological parameter is being changed. So there is a change in temperature and pressure. And the temperature and pressure changes means remaining physical parameter, everything will be changed. Temperature, pressure means volume, density, movement of air, and other thing, everything will be changed based on that. When it happened like this, when they are doing this decreasing or the level of ozone layer with respect to the meteorological parameter, how it is varied, how it is affected if you have the correlation, then where we can step out, where we can take an action on those temperature changes, then we can move out from that. That is the concept idea they have framed during the meeting of UNEP, especially to protect the ozone layer. So if you reduce the temperature to some extent by reducing the flue gas temperature, or if you introduce the good boiler things, or if you introduced it through some fossil, some alternative fuel system based on the renewable energy sources, or by introducing energy conservation techniques, or the fuel usage rate could be modified by introducing the better energy conversion method. Like that, many things are there. That is the convention they made to understand or make it practice to the public, how we could responsible to reduce the meteorology, to control the meteorological parameter changes with respect to ozone depletion. That was the meeting they have done. Is it okay? Now 1 minute more. If you have any doubt, you please ask me. I will explain. And the next class we'll stop. We'll talk about the next topic. Ma'am, do you have any doubt? If anyone has any doubt, you please ask me. Any doubt? The time is up. We'll start the next class by 3:15. Okay. Okay, then thanks to every one of you. Ma'am, up to 1:15 only, na? Session is up to 1:15 or 1:30? Hello. Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, then we'll start at 3:15, the second session. We'll discuss about a very interesting topic, then the exam point of view that is very important, that is on acid rain. Acid rain question will come compulsory. Whatever the question will come, I will say most probably those questions only will come. Okay, thank you. Thanks to every one of you.